I'm back with former Trump attorney Tim Parlatore. All right, Tim, I want to talk to you about the January 6th investigation, but let's start with some of the numbers that we've gotten over the past day or so about just how much money the Trump campaign, Trump PAC rather, is spending on legal fees. According to the Washington Post, Save America, the former president's PAC, is expected to disclose about $40 million in legal spending. That is more than any other expense they have incurred. And it will bring the PAC's total post-presidential legal spending to about $56 million. What's your reaction to those new numbers?
Mine is a very small percentage of that.
So you answered my next question. Were you paid by the PAC?
Yes, I was.
Do you want to disclose how much?
I'm sure it's in the public filings. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's a very small percentage of that. But you know, they are paying, obviously, for the multiple different legal teams representing President Trump, but also for the people that are representing all of the witnesses, all of his employees and associates. So that is something that certainly can get expensive. And so, you know, 40 million, that's a big number.
So you have someone in Donald Trump who claims to be a billionaire, yet he continues to grift off his supporters in the form of political contributions to a so-called political action committee, which Donald Trump uses to the tune of tens of millions of dollars, nearly $60 million when that video was created about 6 months ago. The number's probably much higher right now, to pay for his experts, to pay for the witnesses, to pay for his lawyers, to pay for his legal fees. He's supposed to be wealthy, but he is grifting off his supporters for that. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. And by the way, I'm sure those are the same MAGA supporters who are attacking Bidenomics, attacking the economy, denying the reality that exists right now in the economic climate. I'm sure they're out there complaining about everything, but they're the first to spend their money on Trump $1,000 bills or Trump bobbleheads and Trump coins and fund Donald Trump's legal bills. And one of the things as we think about Trump's massive grift here, and why it's also kind of top of mind for a lot of reasons. Number one, is that, you know, last week Donald Trump had that expert testify, Eli Bartov, who was paid nearly $900,000 to testify about Donald Trump's financial statements. And Bartov hadn't even prepared a financial statement in a very long time. And that was someone who was paid $2 million. I think all of Donald Trump's experts were paid around $2.5 million in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case. Donald Trump's using the Political Action Committee money to pay for them. You can only imagine what he is paying all of those lawyers who sit in court every day. So that was fresh on my mind. But then also there's this new breaking news story that shows how Donald Trump is just so cavalierly pushing out this money, these funds that are being grifted off of his supporters. And they seem to, let me give the fake billionaire more money, more of our hard-earned money. Here is an exclusive by CNN. Former Mar-a-Lago employee turned witness repeatedly contacted by Trump and associates before documents charges. So in the Mar-a-Lago federal criminal case, there was this employee who formerly worked at the Trump organization, worked at Mar-a-Lago, was friends with Donald Trump's co-defendants, Carlos de Oliveira and Walt T. Nauta, specifically friendly with de Oliveira. But this witness who's talked about in this article, is written about in this article, he left. He said, "See you later. I'm out. I'm getting my own lawyer," and was smart in doing so. But the relentless efforts, it's being reported in this article, that Trump and de Oliveira and all these people in Trump's orbit went about to call and pressure this individual, it's being reported in this article, including saying, oh, I'm sure Mr. Trump would like to bring you to a golf tournament at Mar-a-Lago if you come back. Oh, he has a job waiting for you if you return. A lawyer by the name of John Raleigh, who used to work for Donald Trump, called this witness, hey, give me a call back. And then fortunately, this witness never called Trump's lawyer back, but just throwing all of these resources at him to, apparently try to either silence him or bring him back into the fold here. He ended up cooperating with special counsel Jack Smith, according to this article. Here's what it says. 3 months after the FBI seized classified records from Mar-a-Lago last August, a longtime employee of Donald Trump's private club quit his job. Within days, the former president did something he rarely did. Trump called the former employee on his cell phone himself to ask why he was leaving after 2 decades of working at the resort, according to 2 sources and materials seen by CNN. The employee told the former president that the reason that he was doing this, the employee told the former president he had another business opportunity he wanted to pursue. The message later got back to the former employee that Trump thought he was a good man. But he wasn't just any staffer at the club. The former employee was someone who witnessed several of the episodes that was talked about in special counsel Jack Smith's indictment, and he had moved several boxes for Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump made a phone call to this person directly, and as it was described to CNN, it was part of a pattern of outreach to the former employee who would become a key witness in the months after the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago and before Trump's June indictment. Interactions included offers of legal representations by attorneys paid for by Trump and complimentary tickets to a golf tournament, as well as repeated reminders he could come back to work for Trump. Taken together, the incidents may have been harmless, even gracious exchanges between the friends or business contacts. I think not. But the special counsel's office investigating Trump showed interest in them. Duh. Of course they showed interest in them. It's Donald Trump trying to interact with this key witness in a criminal case against him and offering him tickets and to work for him again and to pay for his legal fees. Again, all with the political action committee money that Donald Trump's been spreading out to the experts in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case, the witnesses in all of these cases. And where does he get that money from? The MAGA supporters who give Donald Trump this money. Here's one of the things I wanted to share with you as well. This was from a few months back, where you have Alina Habba justifying spending $40 million of campaign donor money on lawyers, saying that it's not illegal. People just give them the money. Play the clip.
There's nothing illegal about this. And when you support the president, you support getting him into office. I think the one thing we can all agree on is they've weaponized the legal system to prevent him from getting into office. So the defense of the same, I don't see as problematic. And I know that legally it's not. And that's really all I'm going to say on that. But if you look at the numbers, I think it's just completely disgusting. But I also invite the public to look at the numbers that the DOJ is spending attacking President Trump.
And here is another clip of Alina Habba here saying that the reason that Donald Trump needs to take this money through the PAC and then pay for it is, you see, because Donald Trump is independently wealthy. So because he's independently wealthy, he needs people who are hardworking, who this money matters to them, to pay for his legal fees. What? Play the clip.
Alina, let me get your take on the money being spent here on legal fees. Did you hear what Congressman Byron Donalds just said? He said that he believes the strategy of the Department of Justice is to bleed Trump dry, to bring so much legal issue and problems to Trump that he has to spend all of this money on legal fees. You are the general counsel of his super PAC. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the political committee has spent more than $40 million this year on legal fees as he and a constellation of advisors have been swept into these various investigations. How much has it been, and how are you directing the money in terms of paying for legal fees?
tens and tens of millions of dollars, and I do think that that is part of the strategy. It is incredible. They have brought in people like myself who have nothing to do with these cases. I was not part of the administration, just so that lawyers have to get lawyers, and these lawyers cost money. And when you take a broad net and you try and intimidate anybody who is part of his circle, whether, I couldn't even say inner circle, Maria, it's gone further than that. You know, the valet at Mar-a-Lago, the chefs, the whatever. It's crazy. And it is on purpose. Nothing they do is not intentional. It's calculated. And it is to make him bleed. The problem is that President Trump is independently wealthy as well, and they forget that. And he has said at rallies, I will do whatever it takes. If it means I have to spend my own money, I will. He is very protective and kind and generous. And at the end of the day, they're going to try and take him down financially. And that's just frankly not a good angle. I don't know if they've seen, his wealth, but it's probably not the best angle to go at.
And then going back to that CNN article, it talks about how voice messages were left for this former employee. Trump's lawyer, John Rowley, asked the employee to call him, but the employee never called back, offering him the golf tickets. I mean, the pressure campaign that is put on these people and these witnesses is intense, is unrelenting. And look, when CNN goes, oh, it could be harmless. No, you think so? You think that could be harm? Why do they go out of their way to give it context that doesn't exist? This could have been a harmless interaction amongst friends. Sure, that's what Donald Trump was doing. He just really wanted to invite one of the witnesses involving a major federal criminal just because he wanted to invite him to a golf tournament. That's what it could have been. Come on, just call it out what it is. And that's the thing. You got to give CNN props for getting this exclusive, but then follow through ultimately with what this is all about and talk about in the story, where's this money coming from? You have someone who claims to be independently wealthy and a billionaire using the PAC money on this. It is shameful, shameful stuff. We'll keep calling it out here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.